involves sacrifice. I need to sacrifice myself for others. And it involves service. It involves actually getting out there and doing something. Now, prayer has become so important to this church. It is one of the cornerstones of this church. I'm pushing prayer all the time. But you know what? If all we do is sit here and pray and never get out there and do anything, it's not going to happen. We're not going to do what God wants us to do. He wants us to pray, then He wants us to move. And He wants us to pray while we're moving. And He wants us to pray when we get there. He wants us to keep praying and keep doing. Okay? But it involves sacrifice and service. Because when Jesus was here, He didn't just talk about love. He died to prove His love. He died to prove it. Romans 5, 6 through 10 is a great picture. Paul is talking about this. He says, so you see, at just the right time, when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous man, though for a good man someone might possibly dare to die. But God demonstrates His love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And he goes on, he says, since we have now been justified by His blood, how much more will we be saved from God's wrath through Him? For if we were God's enemies, we were reconciled to Him through the death of His Son. How much more, having been reconciled, shall we be saved through this life? And what Paul is saying is that Jesus died for us and saved us. What an amazing thing. It's not like we had to get better and then He saved us. He saved us while we were ungodly. And that should have an effect on us.